complicated. Now the people mad. They don't offer me support. I don't give a fuck. I ain't going outside. They didn't know that I'm resilient. Niggas just like me.
Hey y'all, welcome back to Boxing Conversations with Swaggy. Today we are going to be talking about the upcoming fight between David Benavidez and Dmitry Bivol. Now this is going to be a very great fight, considering the fact that it's a fight between two light heavyweight boxers who have a history together. Just in case you didn't know, Benavidez and Bivol were actually sparring partners, and I just figured out today while I was doing some film study on David Benavidez that David Benavidez was actually sparring Dmitry Bivol during his come up, and also David Benavidez only had 15 fights as an amateur, but he started boxing at 3 years old, meaning that he spent his whole life in the gym. He was just obese, so they were sparring partners, and actually Dmitry Bivol was preparing for his fight. I don't remember who he was gonna fight. I think he was gonna fight against Lyndon Arthur, I'm not sure. But he was beating up each and every person he was sparring up until David Benavidez stepped inside the ring and gave him a hard time and made him uncomfortable. That's what the video says. So it is reportedly being stated that they are gonna fight, and David Benavidez has told us on several occasions that his aim is to fight Dmitry Bivol and go for undisputed. And as far as I can remember, Dmitry Bivol has all the belts. David Benavidez only has the WBC belt, and Dmitry Bivol has the WBO, WBA. I'm mistaken. David Benavidez is the WBO Cruiserweight World Champion. So he's basically the WBO and WBA Cruiserweight World Champion. And he's the WBC Light Heavyweight World Champion, meaning that Dmitry Bivol is the WBA, WBO, IBF, and Ring Magazine Light Heavyweight Unified World Champion. So David Benavidez is also unified at cruiserweight. So David Benavidez is also unified at light heavyweight and at cruiserweight, and Dmitry Bivol is also unified at light heavyweight. But the more accomplished one is arguably Dmitry Bivol, considering the fact that he went undisputed. So that triumphs each and every David Benavidez accolade, because David Benavidez has never went undisputed. We all know that being undisputed in the sport of boxing is the cream of the crop, like it's the top of the top, So but many people are saying that if this fight were to take place a few years ago, then it would be considered a mismatch, and Bivol would be the slight favorite. I heard that from the multimedia, but I be watching that channel a lot, so I'm not stealing anything, so this is me giving them credit, that's where I heard it from, and I definitely agree with that. But now it's a 50-50 fight, just because David Benavidez has proved himself time and time again. He beat Alexander Vostik. He also beat Anthony Yard. Now he just beat Ramirez. So like David Benavidez is solidified. His elite, and I think is gonna win this fight. I think that David Benavidez is faster than Bivol. Yes, Bivol has skills, but Bivol isn't as dangerous. He isn't as he doesn't have the tenacity that David Benavidez has. He moves a lot, he jumps a lot. He has great angles, but David Benavidez does not care. And David Benavidez is smart. He's very smart. You should check out his stance when he's fighting. You should check out his jab. fast hands. He has an American style. Then he also has the Mexican tenacity. That's how I can put it. Dmitry Bivol has the Russian style. I still think that style is not enough to beat David Benavidez. Let me just say that. He can box. He moves a lot. He has respectable power. However, I think that David Benavidez will be too fast, too big, too strong, and it's gonna be a great fight. Many people consider it a 50-50 fight. Let me say it's a 60-40 fight. Yeah, it's a 60-40 because I don't think that this is the best version of Dmitry Bivol because he's coming off an injury. He just beat I can't pronounce the surname. We know that Bivol had 2 fights with Artur Beterbiev. I think that he won the first fight as well. But Beterbiev is a monster, so even if he were to retire after those fights, he would be in the Hall of Fame. No questions asked, Beterbiev is also a Hall of Famer for sure. Heading into the 2 fights with Bivol, Beterbiev had 20 fights, 20 wins, and 20 knockouts, if not 19. All his fights and wins were by knockout. He won on points and went the distance for the first time with Bivol, and they also went the distance for the second time in their respective rematch, which Bivol won, to avenge his first loss. They were both unbeaten before they fought, so Beterbiev is the first one to give Bivol his first loss, and Bivol is the first one to give Beterbiev his first loss. It pretty much calls for a trilogy, and I would watch it, but I think that Bivol would win the trilogy. I think that Beterbiev is in his 40s now, and Bivol would have the upper hand. Bivol is much younger, and also ring rust might play a role, in Beterbiev's disadvantage. I think that in as much as Bivol has also beaten fighters such as Ramirez, Canelo, he has beaten the best of the best. I'm not gonna name them all, but Beterbiev, in my opinion, is his best win. Yeah, I think it's his best win, But let me say, legacy-wise, Canelo was his best win. But yeah, but Beterbiev was definitely a fight that was needed for him to be in the Hall of Fame. Just like Shakur, if Shakur would fight Tank today and beat Tank or be beaten by Tank, that would solidify him, and put him in the Hall of Fame or Mount Rushmore or something, So yeah, man. So I got David Benavidez by knockout. I think that he's gonna punish Bivol. I think that Bivol was really supposed to stop his last opponent. I think that David Benavidez would have made short work of that guy. So I don't think Bivol has the same tenacity as David Benavidez. And I think that David Benavidez is someone who is not gonna respect what Bivol brings to the table. He is gonna just walk through Bivol's punches. And I think that coming into the fight, Bivol is going to respect Benavidez due to their sparring sessions in the past. Because if he didn't respect Benavidez, he would have went straight to him. Because remember, Benavidez never beat anyone to win the WBC world title. He was the WBC interim world champion when he beat Alexander. And then Bivol got stripped of the title. I think it was due to his layoff or something. I do not know. Don't quote me for it. But he got stripped, and David Benavidez got elevated to full world champion status. So, if you may say that Bivol is still undisputed, I won't argue with you. Even in his last fight against Michael Afed, commentators from the DAZN panel were saying that in their eyes Bivol is still undisputed, and I was like, that makes total sense. And David Benavidez knows that. But the nice part and the thing that makes us consider David Benavidez the actual champion and consider David Benavidez the best boxer in Bivol's division, which Bivol is, supposed to be the king of, is the fact that Benavidez is walking to the smoke. He's running to the fire. He wants to fight Bivol. He's calling out Bivol. Bivol hasn't called out David Benavidez, but he has responded at an awards at a ring magazine ceremony and said that if David Benavidez wants to get it on, let's do it. So Bivol is not afraid of David Benavidez, but David Benavidez is just someone who makes the fans happy. He also wants to make the fans happy because of the fact that he's not running away from anyone. He also wants to fight Artur Beterbiev. He wants to fight them all. He also wants to fight Jai Opetaia, and I think he will stop Opetaia. But Opetaia is a threat and stuff, but nah. I think that Benavidez would be too much for him. So Benavidez just keeps proving himself time and time again. And I think that the more we doubt him, the more it makes him angry, the more it makes him want to fight the exact person that we think is going to beat him. So yeah, man, I got Benavidez by stoppage. It might be a body shot. Peace out.
Southpaw, the most factual and funniest, hands down. Wouldn't mind if I upload. I wouldn't mind if you upload every second. All love, Southpaw TV. Thank you, Mr. Boxing Conversation with Swaggy. I like your channel too. You got a dope channel. I see your shit.
Box Conversation with Swaggy. What's up, family? Salute to South Africa.